I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, November the 28th, where we're starting a 4-week run here between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and really that last week is kind of doubtful because there'll be a lot of sales that'll take that last week off right before Christmas. But we've got a good start to this little run here, and nothing has really happened since early last week before Thanksgiving when everything was kind of sour. But we're starting this week off on a positive note. You look at the board, February live cattle up $1.47, the end of the day on Monday at $126.05. December spot live cattle contracts up $1.25 at $119.82. January feeder cattle closed up $1.15 on Monday at $154.45. Your weighted average on last week's fat cattle trade in the 5-area feeding region of 73,400 head. So they traded a little over 3,000 head on Friday, or got turned in on Friday, and it just pretty well blended in with what had happened earlier in the week. But your weighted average on live steers was 118.97, down just 38 cents from the previous week, and dressed steers 189.09, down just 22 cents. And actually your heifer weighted average was several dollars higher on both live and dressed than your steers was. So if you blended all that together, you could pull that back even closer. But steady to maybe a half a dollar lower. But we have to remember that the Northern Plains market is 120 to 120 and a half, while your Southern Plains market is just 118. But you look at your feeder markets on Monday to start the week off. Real-time index late on Monday was sitting at $150 even. That's not much lower than late last week. And your most recent CME index, which is way back there before Thanksgiving Day even happened, is sitting at 155.26. It's got some falling to do with some empty days there. But look at some big Monday markets. Oklahoma City at Oklahoma National Stockyards, 7,200 head. I stopped by the sale there on Monday at Oklahoma City, and I tell you, they were really after the yearlings. Anything that was a hard yearling, and it was late in the afternoon, and they were running oddball bunches in and having to call individuals out for crooked heads, or maybe walking off a little bit, or a hip down or something. And while they were explaining it, guys were already starting to want to bid on them. But really good on the yearling deal. The feeder steers $1 to $4 higher. Feeder heifers $3 to $6 higher. Calves steady to $2 higher. And I think now we've got most all of our wheat cattle bought. So any calf buying now will be just something to either shut up and start back grounding, or maybe dry winter some on some stockpile grass or something. Probably not going to add a whole lot more to the early wheat turnout. But Joplin Regional Stockyards had 5,400 head on Monday. Feeders there steady to $3 higher. Steer calves showed a larger advance than that, $2 to $5 higher, and more in spots, and had a good calf market, especially on steers there in Joplin. Look at some individual quotes. Tri-State Livestock in McCook, Nebraska on Monday had 67 head of steers, weighed 882 pounds at 160.10. But I got to give a shout out to the highest markets I saw on Monday anywhere was Callaway Livestock Market in Kingdom City, Missouri. They had 2 loads of steers weighing 820 and 843 pounds. They bring 165.10 and 165.25. Then had 1 load of bigger yearling steers, weighed 902 pounds, bring $160.60. That's your feeder flash for Tuesday.